Today, we're going to be talking about a three-step process that you can use to secure your family's legacy. We've invited author of the book, Keep Your Life, Garth Hassel, to join us for part 3 of his three-part series of Keeping Your Life and Creating Your End Plan. So loved ones stay loved ones. I love the catchphrase because often we know what happens when trying to plan family legacy. It doesn't always work out the way everybody agrees that it should work out. And so creating a plan in advance is super helpful. And he's broken down that process in this book. And we are in part 3, the implementation process. And in the last chapter, we talked about getting organized, which can be a challenge. But I love the Star Trek quote, "Insufficient facts always invite danger." So why the quote, Garth?
No one said it better than Spock right there. You have more information about yourself than anybody else does. And so you have to provide that information. And, I give you a lot of helps to stay organized or get organized and stay organized. So it's simple. But that information has to be accessible by your professionals when they ask for it so they can do the right things for you.
Yeah, it's almost like a medical record. If you don't bring your medical records to a physician that you're getting a second opinion from, it's how effective is their diagnosis or prognosis going to be if they see no background or medical records that you've provided. So definitely you've made it really easy for families to get organized with the resources and tools that you provide. You've got some great QR codes and things in here and links in here that people can access the resources that you provide in your book. But today we're specifically talking about the next chapter, chapter 9, developing a dream team. And that's so important. I don't think people really get that. Even within each segment of planning, financial, legal, medical, even within each of those sections, there, as you describe in your book, can be multiple experts within each of those sections. And how do all those pieces communicate clearly with each other and allow you to be confident you've selected the right people for your team?
Well, it won't happen by itself. That is for sure, 100%. And it begins with your loved ones. So, and I provided help for this, but you're creating 2 lists about your loved ones. There are those that you trust inherently, and then there are those that you have some concerns about. So I provide helps with that. And then there's professionals. And professionals can be as simple as an attorney, a financial advisor, and an accountant, or it could get into things like, insurance agents for your stuff, insurance agents for your life. And they're different areas of expertise, but they all need to kind of fit together. And there's got to be someone in the center that brings that communication and information together. So you make the information available by becoming organized, and I help you do that. But then someone in my shoes, and I give you a way to find someone like me or in that role, wherever you live, can kind of coordinate that so you don't spend a ton of money, setting appointments with all these different professionals, because you could go crazy and you'd never set aside the time or the money to do it. But it doesn't have to be that way. Someone like in my shoes with the background that I present in the help that I provide, you can avoid a lot of what does he need to have? What are his conflicts of interest? What's behind the curtain? I want Toto to pull that curtain behind it, and I want to see who's pulling the levers on the Wizard of Oz, and you find out it's this old man instead of this massive wizard. So I help you do that because you need someone who exposes what's real and what's a conflict, and that's going to matter in the long run for you.
Yeah, that's what I would say definitely about the book. Is my takeaway really is clarity. Simplify and clarify you really break it down to what's important to you and your family, and then I'll help break it down for you and lead you through the process. And I think that's the valuable part of the book that I appreciated so much, is that it really makes it feel less of a mountain to climb because you've simplified the process, and helped me with checklists and things within the book, so I don't have to worry about, did I miss something? Like when I hire a financial advisor, do they have what's best for the taxation of our retirement or our inheritance? Has that been covered? I don't know those things. And so you provide a checklist to help guide us through that process, and whether we do or we don't have the right people in place.
Yeah, if they speak your language or not. I mean, do they even talk in terms of about your money in terms that you would talk about your money in terms of?
Right.
You know, do you think of it as a big pile of money, or do you think of it as a monthly income? And they're
Right.
massively different concepts. And if the advisor is talking to you one way and you think another way, it's just not going to work.
Right. No, and I agree. And I think also not only consistent between the way you talk about money and your advisors, but how about the advisors working together and them also communicating and having the same perspective where they're working towards the same goal? Because often that doesn't happen, where we have a CPA working against an advisor or vice versa. You want to make sure that everybody is on the same page with the same end goal in mind.
And it's hard to do it. And I'll throw in a little nugget here for everybody watching. And that is, doing the right thing is a ton more work. It is so much easier for anybody, whether you're a doctor or an accountant or an attorney, to give the impression that you're the fountain of knowledge, that you're the expert in everything that matters, that all you need to do is ask me the questions and I'll give you the answers, and everything's stovepiped. You know, that's so much easier. Once you start, getting collaboration from one professional to another, that's work. And that's someone who else might call BS on what you're saying. You're exposing yourself to that possibility, but that's the healthy thing you need. That's what you need to make sure that you have a clean plan designed for you, and you're not being sold a bill of goods.
Right. And of course, if you can get 6 professionals to all agree on the same thing versus one professional, then you know that you are 6 times more likely to have the right plan in place because you put the right team together. And that's my takeaway, at least, from this particular chapter within your book. And if anybody would like to get a copy of that chapter, feel free to click on the link below. Obviously, you can go to Amazon and search Garth Hassel. Is there any final thoughts that you'd like to add, Garth, here to this particular step 2 of the 3-step process of implementing this plan?
Just that it requires some introspection. I mean, we have to make some hard choices about people and people we love. And it's not easy. We want to have rose-colored glasses about our kids, for example, but sometimes we have to be really objective, because we might be granting someone some power that they won't know how to handle properly, and it'll affect you drastically. So you'll feel a lot better having this process to follow.
Well, and I appreciate your time, and I encourage everybody, it is absolutely life-changing. I encourage you, take 15 minutes and just you're so generous with your time, Garth. You're even willing to counsel people who are outside your sphere of being able to help. You're even willing to spend 15 minutes with people who may be in another state, need other professionals. You've recommended other professionals. I know your heart. I know your family. I know your family values. You're here to help people. So if you really, truly want an independent second opinion where he can give you some resources, some checklists, and point you in the right direction, it is absolutely worth 15 minutes of your time to have a conversation and share with Garth your particular family's needs, concerns, and values. And it can be absolutely life-changing. So Garth, I'm so grateful for your time and the crusade that you've been on to help families stay families, right?
Always a pleasure, Rob. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Talk to you soon.